Prior to the Pledge of Allegiance? After. All right. Whatever, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Would you remain standing? We're going to have a presentation by the Lafayette Jeff Varsity Singers, and they have just completed their season, and they finished first in the state of Indiana.
Yay!
Standing for the national anthem.
I was in the group.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave, home of the brave.
That is the best sound we've had in this room.
Sounds like that one.
I'd like to ask the mayor, he has a couple of presentations for these young people, and then, beg your pardon? Sure, yeah. Oh, well, if you want to suspend the rules, we can do anything you want, man.
I don't think you need to for, it's
No,
not.
I think that'll be part of the meeting before.
I think also that maybe, Ms. Alsmeyer, do you have the presentation of some youngsters that are on the mayor's youth council?
I
or-
believe my son Rudy Allersmeyer and Laura Gustafson are also on the Mayor's Youth Council. Is anybody else I'm forgetting that's in Varsity Singers that's also on the Mayor's Youth Council?
Hey, stand up so we can see.
Stand
you.
up, folks, so we can see you.
Hey.
Mayor, it's up to you now.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Well, good evening, everybody. What a wonderful way to start off the meeting. As Mr. Campbell said, I think that's absolutely the best sound we've had in here since this building has been built. We want to take a little bit of time to recognize the Jeff Varsity Singers. As Mr. Campbell stated, you know, they recently won the state championship in what's called the concert choir finals. And that takes a lot of work and dedication. We all know how important music and art and culture is into our community. I personally love music. I can't sing a note. I actually love art, and I can't draw a stick figure. But those things are incredibly important, and these kids work very, very hard. And I think, you know, it's important that we recognize them also. Many times we recognize athletic teams for those, the events that they've won and state championships, and I think it's incredibly important that we recognize these young people that are involved in music and the pride that they take in what they do and what they mean to our community. It's neat to have a choir that's won a state championship like that, and I think it's important that we recognize them tonight. So before I give the presentation of the plaque, I'd like Mr. Bennett to come forward and talk just a little bit about what these kids do to prepare and what they had, the steps that they had to go through to achieve this very important milestone. So Mr. Bennett, if you come forward, please. Just speak to the council, yep.
So, as you know, everything that's been said, of course, is an annual thing that we work on. Students, this group of students meets 3 times a week, but they also have an after-school requirement as part of their class, which, if I had to say in a nutshell, the reason that they are so successful is because of that after-school requirement that the school has for them. Not only do they work on the music, but that is a time where they work in small groups and get to know each other, and we get to really sink into the music making at a higher technical level that allows us to compete at such a high level. So we work all year, we perform at the school, at many events that are traditional at Jeff High School through the fall, the holidays, and the winter. The process to getting to the state finals is a qualification process. There's about 60, on average, annually, about 60 schools that compete that are 9 through 12 schools, public, private, you name it. Everybody's eligible. And we go to various places throughout the state and are heard by a panel of judges. And then the top 16 groups make it. And then we re-sing the next week. The first week is not so much a competition from group to group. There's a standard that has to be met based on their skills and their performance. And then the next week, the finals week, when the top 16 meet all in the same place with judges that are from out of state or are not affiliated with or previously affiliated with any of the schools in the state of Indiana. And so then it's a whole day, and we sing and we cross our fingers. And this year, the first time in the Varsity Singers history, which is about, the Varsity Singers have been around between 40 and 45 years, and have been competing, I know, at this state level for more than 30 of those years. And many second places and third places, and a couple fourth places, and a couple 15th places, and so forth and so on. But this year, this group pulled it out.
Thank you.
Seniors or graduates?
Graduates want to come forward. You better just get behind me, we'll face the council. Yeah.
Yes, because we're mean people.
Well, first of all, congratulations on this and your graduation.
Yep.
We wish you all the best in the future. We hope that whatever you choose to do, that you're incredibly successful. We know you will be. Our biggest wish is that you stay right here in Lafayette. That's what we want, all this talent to stay and help here and be a part of your community here. So if you go away for a little bit, 2 years, expect to see you back, okay? All right, well, on behalf of myself, the Lafayette City Council, and all the citizens in our community, we want to send formal congratulations to the 2018 Lafayette Jeff Varsity Singers. We commend you on your success of winning the Best in the State at the Indiana State School Music Association Concert Choir Finals. And we issued this June the 4th, 2018, and this is your formal presentation to let you know how proud all of us and your community is and all your hard work and how proud of the championship we are. Congratulations. All right. Thank you.
All this boring government stuff.
John, before you folks leave, could you give us one little number, something small, you know?
Hail Purdue.
Hail Purdue.
That is totally Mr. Campbell.
Now,
Hail Purdue would be appropriate.
tell him that he used to be the assistant principal, so.
Broke. The police broke it.
One verse, right? Is that what you said? Oh.
Not the Hallelujah chorus, you know.
Actually, that's not
Did you sing anything for graduation that you might be able to do? Oh, no.
It's a good one. I can cry through that.
Something with a verse. Huh?
It's really weird.
The Ave?
Yeah.
I do Ave, it's beautiful.
Okay, okay. So the reason I'm giggling and they're giggling is because the music is very, there's a lot of variety, you know, all over the world, a cappella, accompanying foreign languages, and there's a standard that you have to meet. You have to select some songs from a list, so there's a standard for all the groups. And this piece is very short, which is what we all have right now. But it's in Latin. It's a secular piece called Rytmus, and it's called Rytmus, which means rhythm because it's very fast and energetic. But it's written by a Slovakian composer, and it means he also wrote the text. It says Ave Eva, means Hail Eva, Queen of Nobleness and Grace. It's about a woman. So it's very odd, and lasts about a minute and a half. Receives. Hurry up.
Very good. Thanks, Tom.
Nice.
Anybody that's going to Purdue, try out for PMO. As a former member of that group and a former member of that group, it's
Mr.
fun.
Campbell, that was very nice of you to get them to do that.
And we can go up, just keep going, a little bit further. There you go.
Are you going to translate, Mr.
That was the case for abatement. That was the Latin case for.
Good.
What did you say?
Passes.
Were you going to translate the Latin for us?
I did.
Yeah. He did, I think, for us, didn't he?
I think, what's your name again?
Yeah.
He did the same thing.
Okay, if the clerk now would conduct a roll call of the members present.
Heidi,
Here.
Clinker.
Here.
Nargi. Here. Reynolds.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Allersmeyer.
Here.
Williamson.
Here.
Downey.
Present.
Campbell.
Here.
Quorum present.
You have received the minutes of the May 7th meeting. Are there any corrections to those minutes? There being none, Mr. Downing, I would entertain a motion to accept them.
So moved.
Second? Seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Presentation and disposal of claims.
There are none.
Reports of city offices.
Fleet maintenance, monthly April. Police department, monthly April. Waterworks department, monthly April. Renew department, monthly April.
Those reports are on file in the city clerk's office for your inspection. Any ordinances for second reading?
There are none.
Ordinances for first reading.
Ordinance 2018-09, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from NB to GB, 820 Sagamore Parkway, W.K. Baldwin petitioner.
Mr. Brown.
Mr. President, I move that we hear and approve ordinance 2018-09 for first reading.
Second.
Second all. Any discussion by members of the Common Council? Yes, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of council. Dan Peter, attorney Brian Peter and Schreier, represent the petitioner. As you're aware, we're requesting a rezone from MD to GB. Property is about 1.2 acres back. It's on the west side of Sagamore Parkway. We received a favorable staff report, also a unanimous report from various county commissioners as well, this particular matter. This is the former location for the Red Lobster Restaurant, if you know where that is. We're between Kurtz and Midas. They're both zoned GB as well as most of Sagamore Parkway is either GB or I3 as well. We are buffered, I believe, pretty well from the residential to the west. We've got a water tower, we've got a pathway through there, part of that pathway, as well as a pretty good stand of trees. So I think there's a nice buffer between our site and the residential as well. Also, we have a commitment with this rezoning request. That was at the mayor's request that we included that so that there would be no used car dealer permitted for this particular site. It would be something other than that. The petitioner has not yet determined what that would be, but our commitment is enforceable by the way of the county commission, by the way of the board of zoning appeals, and also the city of Lafayette. So it runs with the land, a lot of protection there in that regard. So with all that, we have to answer any questions. We would respectfully request your approval. Thank you.
Any questions of Mr. Teeter? Thank you very much. Any members of the audience wish to address this particular rezoning? There being none, back to the council. Anything? Would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2018-9?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next ordinance, please.
Ordinance 2018-10, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from GB to I-1, 3824 South 18th Street. Call LLC petitioner.
What's the pleasure of the council? Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, I move we hear and consider ordinance 2018-10.
Second. Second. Questions or comments by members of the Common Council? There being none, yes, sir.
These are the ground feeder dryer. Just briefly to touch on this, these are the two radio antennas that are on 18th South 18th Street in the driving range. The petition is to bring them into conformance with the zoning ordinance so that they can be improved and upgraded, specifically so they can be upgraded to allow for additional cell phone antennas to improve the coverage in the area of Mr. Reynolds' district. We're not rezoning the entire vertical parcel. There are two small, about 4,000 square feet, 2,000 square feet areas within the 4 acres that are being rezoned to industrial I-1. So there's no concern about any kind of larger industrial businesses being put up in the whole residential area. It's just the two small areas that the towers currently sit on and have been sitting there for 60 questions.
Do you know the fella that was on JAG? Oh, okay, good enough. This gentleman was a JAG lawyer, I think, were you? For the U.S. Navy for 8 years or something. Good. Any questions of this gentleman?
Any idea what's going to happen with the rest of the land that's around these two towers? So it's going to stay GB, right?
Correct. Okay. The only rezone is those two squares, like I mentioned, approximately 4,000 square feet and 2,000 square feet. So the rest of it is going to stay currently as rezoned.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? There being none, thank you. Any questions from the members of the audience? There being none, once again, City Council, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2018-10?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi? Aye. Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ordinance 2018-11.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from R1 to NB, corner of South 18th Street and County Road 430 South, across from Wheel Ridge Elementary School, Tippecanoe County Public Library petitioner.
Yes, ma'am.
I move that we hear and approve ordinance number 2018-11.
Mr. Downing. Second. Second. Questions or comments by members of the Common Council? There being none, is there a representative for this particular ordinance in the audience? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Chris Sheldon with Blue Line Law, here on behalf of the Tippecanoe County Public Library, also with Scott Holmes of the Tippecanoe County Public Library. This request is the fulfillment of a promise that the Tippecanoe County Library made to the south side of Lafayette several years ago when they closed their location at Ivy Tech. They found the perfect spot at the corner of 18th Street and 430 on the south side, right across from Wheel Ridge Elementary, and look forward to presenting their next new construction library that'll be a hub for the south side. Create a little educational note there on the south side with the school and the library. The rezone request has been limited to the 10 acres at the south east corner and received a favorable staff recommendation and a unanimous approval from the Area Plan Commission. We'd be happy to answer any questions, and we look forward to serving the community.
Any questions of this gentleman?
Mr. President, I'd like to add that we'd like to thank the Tippecanoe County Library for working with us, because originally this was going to be a 25-acre rezone, and they did reduce it down, so.
Library.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know what was going to happen with the rest, but we thank them for that.
Thank you. Good. Anybody in the audience wish to submit any questions concerning this? There being none, once again, the council, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on 2018-11?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi? Aye. Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-12, or 8-0, sorry.
Ordinance 2018-12.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana, Uzo Amendment Number 93, buffer yards.
Mr. Downing?
I move to hear and approve ordinance 2018-12.
Mr. Heidi?
Second.
Discussion by members of the Common Council. Mr. Chosney?
This is an amendment to the ordinance that was recommended by the Area Plan Commission staff after they were given some requests and some issues that were raised in West Lafayette, where there are businesses and loading areas that are close to residential neighborhoods. And what this does is modifies slightly and improves the buffer yards that are required, and has language regarding the kind of plantings and the kind of height that needs to be in order to minimize the sound and disturbance in residential neighborhoods, but it will apply throughout the county for each jurisdiction that accepts it. So it's an improvement to the buffer yard provisions of our zoning ordinance, and it was approved by the Area Plan Commission.
Any questions of Mr. Chosney? Members of the audience wish to address this ordinance?
Just for CB.
Hearing no comments. Members of the Common Council, once again, would the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2018-12?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi? Aye. Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. Resolutions.
Resolution 2018-10, a resolution approving a waiver of noncompliance subject to final public hearing, Lex Lafayette, LP.
Mr. Heidi?
Move to hear resolution 2018-10.
Mr. Clinker?
Second.
Any comments by members of the Common Council? Mayor?
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the council, as you may recall from my brief comments at the caucus hearing, this relates to an original resolution that we did for Caterpillar Logistics, where we granted them a tax abatement on their new building that they have constructed and met all of their requirements. And we're very pleased with the outcome, and very pleased with the design and look at the building, and also besides with all the jobs that are there. But during the process, there was a non-compliance issue with the late filing of their tax abatement. paperwork. We went through the process with the redevelopment commission and with this council to waive that non-compliance and give them an opportunity to submit that paperwork. During all of that, it was brought to our attention that there's also a Form 322 that's required, and they have submitted that, but we did not specifically identify that in the resolution that we passed correcting this. At Form 322 also was in there, so this is simply cleaning up a technical error that's been requested by the county auditor's office, so we certainly appreciate your support.
Any questions of the mayor? There being none, thank you, Mayor. Members of the audience wish to address this particular resolution. There being no comments, members of the council once more, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on resolution 2018-10?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion for a public hearing at 6:31 on July the 9th.
So moved.
Ms.
Second.
Alsmeyer,
Oh, second.
don't get me out of the order.
Sorry.
It's a batting order here, and we got it. Okay, good. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Resolution 2018-11.
A resolution declaring the designation of certain real estate as an economic revitalization area and approving the application for property tax abatement, Columbian Park Redevelopment, LLC Real Estate.
Mr. Clinker.
I move we hear Resolution 2018-11 on first reading.
Mrs. Nargi.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments by members of the Common Council? Mayor.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the council, we have before you a resolution for tax abatement for what we're calling Columbian Park development. And as we briefly touched on at the caucus meeting, as you know, it's important in the community that we have a mixture of housing options for lots of folks in our community and for our senior citizens. And this is a unique situation here where we're working with a company called Keller Development. They're also the company that we're working with on the development of the engagement center that Lafayette Transitional Housing is working on. And what we're doing is looking at bringing a project to the Columbian Park neighborhood. It'll be the last parcel located off Ferry Street of the old home hospital complex. If you go by there now, you will see a medical arts building that's sitting there boarded up in a state of disrepair. And we don't own that property, obviously, so there's only so much we can make them do, and that's keep it boarded up and some things like that. But this presented an opportunity where Keller was interested in being able to purchase that lot from the owner and then put up a development for senior, low to moderate income senior housing. Part of the project of making this all work out, they are applying for tax credits. And part of the tax credit application, you have to get a certain number of points to really be competitive. And part of that is this tax abatement. By offering this tax abatement, which is a little bit unusual for us on residential, it will help that tax credit application to make this project reality. Dennis Carson and myself have met personally with representatives from the Keller Development and talked through this process with them. We're looking for a high-quality development. We think that's a good spot between Columbian Park, Sunnyside School, nice neighborhood. We think it will add to the neighborhood and will be a good spot for those seniors that live there. We've talked to them about services, design of the building, quality that we're looking for, and we believe that we have reached agreement with them that we'll have the development we're all looking for. We're not inclined to take any development in this community, just any development, but if we can get the right kind of development with the right quality in the right location, then that's something that we want to do. We do want to make sure that we continue to provide appropriate housing to our low and moderate income seniors. This council is receptive. It's a different type of project, but when we work with the Glasswater Creek, and I don't know if you drove out there lately, but that development looks beautiful. It looks absolutely beautiful. So again, we think this is one that is a good fit for our community. We appreciate the council's support. We do have Danielle here this evening from Keller Development. We're going to have her come forward and give you a little bit of information about their company and about this particular project. So Danielle, if you'll come forward, please.
Thank you. I'm Danelle Bieberstein. I'm with Keller Development. Keller Development actually has been around since 1957. It's family owned. Third generation, basically all the third generation kids are running the business right now. Fourth generation is working for the company, and of course they're building on that. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the project itself. We're proposing that we build a 50-unit, 2-bedroom apartment complex for seniors 55 and older that is considered low to moderate income. Rents would be determined by their income range, so somebody with the lower rent range could be paying around the mid-300s for rent. Someone with the higher range would be paying about the mid-700s rent. What we would offer at this development, just some of the amenities, I don't have all of them, but a gazebo, a pavilion with grills outside, sidewalks throughout the community, open parking, some carport parking for covered, brick enclosure dumpsters, indoor pet washing room, exercise room, community room with a kitchen and television in it, theater room, a leasing room. So we will have a leasing person on staff, and we will also have a maintenance person on staff. Both those right now are part-time, however it could change and become full-time for us. It's about a $9.5 million investment. We're proposing tearing down the current building and building a 4-story building, and the parking lot that's right next to it. So we're not going to build right where that building is. We're going to move it over so that we can have the community space and everything open up.
My wisdom teeth were taken out.
We believe that this investment would be good for the community. We did have a community meeting last Tuesday. The residents that did show up actually supported the idea of replacing what is currently there with this new facility. And like the mayor had said, we are actually working with the mayor still to make sure that the outside is designed that would be pleasing to anybody driving through your community. That's pretty much it. I would respectfully ask that you pass the resolution, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Any questions of this lady or the mayor about this particular development?
I have one question, Mayor, and you know, there used to be a road or a drive that went through. That is not a city-owned right-of-way, is it? Was that just part of the property?
There's an alley through there that we'll have to
Vacate?
vacate.
Okay.
As this moves along, we'll see exactly that.
Okay.
Buildings and everything's going on, we'll have to come back. I mean, it's not improved, I mean, it's
Right.
on the map somewhere.
Okay. All right, thanks.
We'll deal with that, we'll do the engineers after we get a little further along, we'll bring it to the council.
Okay, thank
Any
you.
other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Members of the audience wish to address this resolution and this redevelopment. There being none, council once more. No questions. Would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2018-11?
Heidi.
Aye.
Clinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
I would entertain a motion to have a public hearing on this particular resolution on 7/9, that is July the 9th, at 6:32.
So moved.
Clinker,
So moved.
Mrs.
Second.
Narchi. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Resolution 2018-12.
A resolution declaring the designation of certain real estate as an economic revitalization area and approving the application for property tax abatement, Caterpillar, Inc., real estate.
What's the pleasure of the council here, Ms. Nargi?
I move we hear Resolution 2018-12.
A second.
Second. Any questions or comments by the common council? Mayor?
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the council, before you have a resolution that you just heard for an expansion project at our main Caterpillar plant here in our community. Obviously, we're very excited about this investment, a significant investment between personal property and real estate of about $71 million and 125 new jobs. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail because we do have representatives from Caterpillar here this evening, and I don't want our presentations to be redundant, but obviously Caterpillar is an important part of the greater Lafayette economic landscape, providing lots of good paying jobs. They're a good community partner and a good corporate citizen, get involved in a lot of different things in the community. And as you know, this plant, I think in their opinion, and I know in my opinion, is certainly one of the stellar ships in their fleet of plants throughout the world. And we want to do everything possible to keep it strong, to keep it globally competitive, and to keep creating additional jobs and additional investment in our community. Obviously, this council has been extremely business-friendly over the years, and it's paid off, allowing our economy to grow at a much faster rate than many places throughout the community. And I certainly would appreciate your support on this resolution tonight, and I'll keep that up.
Thank you, Mayor.
At that time, I would ask whichever gentleman would like to come, or both will come at the same time. We have representatives here from Caterpillar that will give you some more information.
Good.
Mr. President, members of the council, good evening. My name is Eric Newkirk. I serve as Caterpillar's corporate real estate manager and economic development manager based in Peoria. Our corporate office is there. With me tonight is Bruce Brennan, manager of operations at the Lafayette facility. We'll just give you a little bit more information about our request for abatement. I'm assuming most of you are familiar with our facility, but just a little bit more color if you're not. The facility opened in 1982. Over 1.5 million square feet, spanning 7 acres. We manufacture what we call medium speed large engines, and even large by Caterpillar standards, for the marine industry, the mining industry, oil and gas, electric power, so backup generators, sensor hospitals, schools, etc. These large engines range in size anywhere from 4 tons to 70 tons for one engine. So quite the operation if we have to take the tour through. In addition to the manufacturing operations, obviously a large engineering presence, accounting, HR, as well. As the mayor said, and he describes our facility well. I've described it in the past, and he does a great job. Takes some of my thunder, but yeah, we have been a proud member of the Lafayette community for a long time. And some of the highlights from last year, between ourselves and the matching grant from the Caterpillar Foundation, we over $600,000 to the local chapter. So, involvement in junior achievement, local schools and school districts, etc. Normal community involvement that we expect from our facility. As the mayor said, we have put together an investment package in the Lafayette facility. The Lafayette leadership team has prepared that package for their executive leadership team. The facility's been, not unlike a lot of other facilities at Caterpillar around the world, the facility's been, the investment's been on the right side the last 5 years. And mostly due to affordability and economic conditions. We're now in a position to kind of reinvest and repair some of those items that we haven't been able to invest in related to inside the plant equipment. Bruce can give a little bit more color on the types of componentry and machinery equipment that we're talking about.
Thank you.
Thank you. So what we're talking about as far as machines and equipment are machine tools, fixtures, tooling, cranes, some facility upgrades as well. We do a lot of machining there, so on the machining side, as I mentioned, the machine tools, cranes, and also some gauging equipment. On the assembly side, we're talking torque tools, some system upgrades, some necessary upgrades to our engine test cells, and then also a little bit of infrastructure upgrades as well.
Bruce, did you move the engines at all in your part-time work or something like that?
Typically not by hand, those cranes that we need.
Have you got any eligibility left?
Gives it all up.
No eligibility left.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
And neither one of us will be singing for you tonight.
Oh.
No way we can compete with that. So obviously the abatement helps the facility be competitive from a cost standpoint. We certainly have other locations around the world that are not subject to property taxes on personal property. And then it just keeps the facility, as the mayor said, very competitive from a cost basis. So with that, respectfully, we possibly approval of consideration. Any questions for Bruce or
Any questions of these gentlemen? Yes, ma'am.
You're creating 125 new jobs, it says. Is that one big hire, or are you gradually taking them on over the year?
Yeah, both the investment and the job creation is over a 4-year time.
4-year, okay.
Exactly. So with the $77 million investment, the facility can only invest in. We're certainly hiring now, hiring at a pretty good pace. That ebbs and flows, but this would be
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Those are operations, machinists and manufacturing.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Members of the audience wish to address this particular. There being no comments, once again, council? Yes, sir.
I moved. Guys, you got lost here, sorry.
Gotcha.
So moved.
You
Guys,
moved.
just ready to vote.
Okay. And Mr. Brown?
Any questions?
Second.
Okay.
Oh, second.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
If you would conduct a roll call vote then, please.
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi? Aye. Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Ollismeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
On July the 9th at 6:33 PM, we will have a public hearing on this particular ordinance, or excuse me, resolution. Reports of standing committees. Reports of special committees. Miscellaneous and new business. Reports of the mayor.
We got the
Well, we do have the
business.
compliance.
We gonna start that
Statement of
thing?
benefits.
Yeah.
Do all the compliance and statements of benefits.
Yeah, we gotta go ahead.
Okay.
We grouped them together the most efficient we can for you.
Okay, all right.
He tried to get by.
We will have a compliance report on about, looks like about 25 particular industries, give or take a few. And I will ask each of you folks to move for passage of them as we go along. And the first group, go ahead, Dennis.
Dennis Carter, Economic Development Director, and these are our annual tax abatement compliances, and these have been carefully vetted by the redevelopment commission, and they were all passed with substantial compliance. That's the recommendation tonight. So I'll go through these in groups by company, and you can then approve each group. The first one is Castle Coach Development. It's a real estate abatement, and it's approved by the redevelopment commission.
Mr. Brown.
I move that Castle Coke Development be found in substantial compliance.
Dennis, correct me, please. Are we going to vote on each one, and we'll have a motion to approve that one or three, whatever it is?
Yeah, it'd be in groups.
And then a second.
Yep.
And do we have comments on each one of these?
I mean, I think the council can ask any questions that they want, but that's all, because this is for the council to make a determination as to whether they're in substantial compliance. It's not audience participation.
Mr. Brown.
I move that we find Castle Coke Development LLC in substantial compliance.
Mrs. Osborne.
Second.
And then, just take
And a vote. A
All in
roll call
favor?
vote, I guess.
You could do an oral vote.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, oral vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Next one.
Next, we have Caterpillar, and they have two personal property abatements, and they're recommended for approval.
Mrs. Alsmeyer.
I move that we find Caterpillar in substantial compliance.
Okay,
Second.
second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you. The next one.
Coleman Cable Southwire with two real estate abatements, and they are recommended for approval.
Yes, ma'am.
I move that we find Coleman Cable in substantial compliance.
Mr. Downing.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The next one.
We have two more for Coleman Cable, and these are personal property, recommended for approval.
Mr. Heidi.
Move to approve Coleman Cable Southwire.
Mr. Downing, I'm sorry.
Second.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr.
TCL Pure Lafayette, real estate abatement, recommended for approval.
Mr. Downing.
I move to approve ETCL Pure.
Mr. Heidi.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next one.
This is Fiber Hotel, real estate abatement, recommended for approval.
Mr. Clinker.
I move we find the Fiber Hotel for Wintech in substantial compliance.
Mrs. Nargi.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next one.
General Electric, personal property, recommend for approval.
I move that we find General Electric in substantial compliance.
Mr. Clinker?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next is Heartland Automotive, 3 personal property, recommended for approval.
I moved, we hear Heartland Automotive, 2013, in compliance. Personal property, I'm sorry.
Brown. Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next, we have 2 more for Heartland Automotive being real estate. Recommend for approval.
Mr. Brown.
I move that we find Heartland Automotive in substantial compliance.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next is JAK Partners, Cody Rest, there's 2 real estate abatements for approval.
I move that we find JAK Partners and Kirby Risk Real Estate in substantial compliance.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next is James Investments, a real estate abatement, recommend for approval.
I approve that James Investment, we find him in substantial compliance.
Second.
On Jim.
Wake him up.
I said second.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said so.
Where's your papers that you're holding? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then go ahead.
This is Lex Lafayette, real estate abatement, recommend for approval.
I move to approve Lex Lafayette Real Estate.
Thank you. Mr. Heidi.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have Lifelong Brands, Copper Moon, 2 personal property abatements, recommend for approval.
Mr. Heidi.
I move to, here, Lifesong Brands, Cooper Moon is in compliance.
Second.
Hard time getting that out, wasn't it?
You got it.
I knew what you meant.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Next is another one for Lifesong, it's a real estate abatement, recommend for approval.
Mr. Clinker.
I move we find the Lifesong Brands Copper Moon real estate in compliance.
Mr. Nargi.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Non-Sean Real Estate, recommend for approval.
I move we approve Nanshan Real Estate.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
2 more for Non-Sean, these are personal properties, recommend for approval.
I move we accept Nanshan personal property.
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And 2 for Ray Magnet Wire, these are personal property, recommend for approval.
Mr. President, I move that we find Ray Magnet Wire in substantial compliance.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have 7 for Subaru SIA, these are personal property abatements, we recommend for approval.
I move that we find SIA personal property in substantial compliance.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
On this one, you're abstaining.
And the
Okay.
next one. Yep.
7-0.
We have 5 for SIA, these are real estate abatements, recommend for approval.
I move that we find SIA Real Estate in substantial compliance.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Make note that Mr. Clinker abstained.
Got it.
Next is
All those in favor signify by saying aye. That's good. Next one.
This is Starter Development, real estate abatements, recommend for approval.
I move we accept Stoddard Real Estate for approval.
Mr. Heidi.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have Tate Lyle, with 3 personal property abatements, recommend for approval.
Mr. Heidi.
I move for Tate and Lyle Ingredients is in compliance.
Mr.
Second.
Clinker. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Wabash National Board, 2 personal property abatements, recommend for approval.
Mr. Clinker.
I move we find Wabash National personal property in compliance.
Second.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I move that we approve Wintech Fiber Hotel in compliance.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Last one is board audit, this is personal property, recommended for approval.
I move that,
Mr. Reynolds?
what did you say it was,
Orvog.
for personal property improvement?
Thank you. Mr. Brown. Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's a record.
Do you need anything else?
Well done, Mr. Carson, well done.
Wow. Reports by councilman. You got more?
You want to do what?
I want to clarify, noted that we had two for Caterpillar. The first one was Caterpillar Incorporated for personal property, and the second one was Caterpillar.
Logistics.
Different companies, so we made
Yeah.
that clarify.
Let's do it.
Okay, we'll go back and do it
That
over.
on one?
I move that we find Caterpillar Logistics in substantial compliance.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
There you go.
Is that it? Good.
Clean.
Very good.
Crisp and clean, no caffeine.
Reports of councilmen. There being none. Public comment. I had a call from a gentleman, Mr. Fuhrer, in the front row about some, I guess you would call it the downtown food market. And go ahead, Bob.
Well, I've seen this, and I never said anything about it, and I got thinking about it. It just that my dog goes in both hospitals, goes to the nursing homes, goes in the intensive care wards at both hospitals, and yet he can't go in farmer's market, but he can go in the West Lafayette one. And the way that the ordinance is phrased, they have a sign up that says, no dogs at all allowed, or no pets allowed. And I was hoping that could be amended to something a little more friendly, saying maybe just service and therapy animals allowed. Because we're coming in from outside of town. We want to project Lafayette as a friendly city with all the improvements we've done downtown. But when it comes to our animals, we're not a very friendly city. I go to Kirkwood, Missouri a lot. And that town, very similar to Lafayette. They have an antique train station, they have a college, they have a downtown senior yards, but their business is welcome dogs. They put out water bowls, even some of the restaurants, they have outdoor dining, they even have a dog's menu. I mean, they want the animals, they want to bring people there. And Lafayette does not have any of that. We're not a very friendly town. And that's why I was just trying to see if we could amend that. Most of the dogs are allowed to come into places, and especially the farmer's market. You can see how Teddy acts, and he is trained. He has an insurance policy on him. He has a license, which I wear, and he has one on his collar. He had to go through a series of training and testing. And you want to check with the hospital, ask them. I mean, everybody knows Teddy in this town. He's out and around, and especially in the hospitals, that's where he needs to walk with his people. But I just was hoping that this ordinance could be amended to let service animals, which is just an animal that helps its owner, that's it, or a therapy dog, which is a highly trained dog that can go in and just be social without causing any problems. I was hoping you could
this ordinance, I think, was proposed by the manager of the downtown market. And at the time, and that started in 1918, he forbade all animals, any kind of pet, birds, Gila monsters, or whatever. They're all banned. And I think that unless we get a real groundswell that people want this done, I would say we go with the wishes of the manager, unless he would meet with the mayor and propose something there that would be kind to all animals. Your dog, I'd like you to train my children, but we can't get that done probably. But I think that since the manager has proposed this ordinance years ago that no animals would be allowed, I can't see us doing anything about it unless this gentleman, the manager, talks to the mayor and proposes that something be done. But it's interesting that they have even banned the two animals that you described, the assistant and things like that. So I don't know if we can do anything at this point.
If I could just clarify just real quick so that the council's here. There is a market manager, but that changes from year to year. It goes through Greater Lafayette Commerce, and there's a person from Greater Lafayette Commerce who does it, then a person involved with the market itself. So that changes from year to year, different people. So there's not just one person every year that does it, that changes from year to year. So, I mean, I think it would be the pleasure of this council, I mean, if you would like us to meet with those folks and see, but like I said, it changes from, the market manager can change from year to year. So I just want the council to be fully apprised of what's.
Any other thoughts by members of the council?
Yeah. As my son and our family become a member of a service dog recently, he's right about a lot of the training and so on. And if we have to start with a slow movement of that type of an animal, I think that would be a good start. Opening it up to horses and cows and birds and everything may be a little over the edge, but I do think we have, and you've been to the malls and restaurants, and as I can attest to him, all these have to be tag certified and at some range of training. My son had to be actually a prescription from the doctor. So, I mean, it gets pretty intense. So I don't think, I think we'll look at something, or maybe meet with the mayor, that we can at least allow the service.
It's not a service dog.
No, you're exactly right, but it is under the emotional dog, and that's what we have. And it is a service to that person that has him because it's his companion. And they're trained to be his companion. And I know, for instance, ours, when you stop, he lays down. I mean, there's quite a bit of training involved. And
I agree. I have been on the council for 40 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
I have never had a person come before the council asking for animals and pets to be admitted to the market. I think there's probably other times that you can go to the market. I don't know if, I can.
I just hate everybody go to West Lafayette would have the market here because they accept on West Lafayette.
Another thing, you are in violation of federal law because you cannot stop the service dog from entering that market or any restaurant or any business. If that dog is there to help its owner.
This dog is not a service dog.
He is not a service.
Right.
Well, why don't you let me take a look at it?
Yeah,
We'll see what West Lafayette's doing, and we'll do a little research and see, we'll come up with a recommendation to the council. How's that?
That sounds great. Thank you.
Especially to see the signage change, so it just seems more friendly, because that is, if someone coming in, like, say, from out of town, and they're looking at relocating here, and they see something like that, what are they gonna think?
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
I would suggest that if we do anything, that if we want to open this up to animals of any kind, that they be service animals, service animals and/or therapy dogs or whatever. But I've seen the flip side of this, where people bring their animals in there who are not terribly well trained, who are running up in little children's faces, licking them and stuff, and actually I've seen dogs go to fighting up in there, right in the middle of the market. So we can't be too haphazard about this, because some people do not take the time to train and care for their animals the way these service animals are trained. See, that's what we need. That's why we need to look at this and look at this from the standpoint of service animals only.
Anyone who has input on this particular issue, I would ask you to see the mayor and make your feelings known, and we're going to throw it into the mayor's hands.
Well, then I'm gonna throw it back to you.
Oh, come on.
I'll get it all put together, we'll come up with some recommendations, hopefully make a decision.
Very good.
Sounds
Make it
great.
easy. All animals, no license. And that be the easy way of saying you where your potential.
Thank you very much. Any other comments by members of the audience? Perry, I knew you wouldn't disappoint us.
Can't do it. Perry Barber, 3700 Roosevelt Avenue. First, I'd like to thank the young kids from Jeff tonight to open up our council meeting tonight. And Bob's absolutely right. I see Teddy every week when he comes to the hospital. He's been sitting here, what, almost 2 hours? He ain't moved from that spot. And he's behaved. And I wouldn't mind seeing Teddy down there, and like Mr. Brown said, we do have to make sure if we do have them, it has to be service dogs or therapy dogs. And I'm all for dogs like him down there at the market, as long as it's behaved dogs. Yeah, I could go on and on.
No, you can't. No.
3 minutes.
Not allowed. Short, but, no. Any other comments by members of the audience? Mr. Heidi?
Hey, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yep. Good, thank you very much.
Congratulations. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a 2-hour meeting.
John Henry here. I couldn't hear.